What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 5 of Rebuilding Chelsea here in Football Manager 2017. And today I have for you guys the EFL Cup quarter-final against bottom of the Premier League Burnley. Now this is going to be an interesting game because a win here would see us reach the semi-final. Of course, the winner of the EFL Cup does get European football. It's kind of tempting at this point, I guess, to treat this kind of competition as a priority. As you can see, looking at the league table, we've been doing very, very well of late. And actually, teams around us starting to slip up, and it's seen us create a little bit of a gap. So since the last episode, which was against Fulham, as you can see, we have gone unbeaten in 7 games. 6 in the league, 1 in the EFL Cup. Of course, if you missed last episode, it was a 5-0 win against Fulham. I recommend you check out the live com because there were some pretty good goals. It was an interesting game in terms of what happened. And yeah, as you can see here, defensively, we've been fantastic. We've kept 4 clean sheets in our last 6, which is really something to be proud of in the league. And I'm hoping that we can I guess, continue that today. Because as I said, Burnley, they're newly promoted. They finished 15th last year, of course. This is their 2nd year in the Premier League. And at the moment, they sit rock bottom on 9 points after 14 games. So this should provide an interesting way to benchmark ourselves, I guess, against Premier League sides who are struggling this year. So anyway, just a quick look at the results since the last game. The first one was a 2-2 draw against Leeds United, a disappointing performance all in all. Rob Holding getting the Man of the Match award, and to be honest, him and Kurt Zouma have been absolutely sublime for us. And also worth noting that Rob made his first ever England appearance, which is great for him, the 22-year-old. A very good kind of ball-playing defender, playing very well for us. You can see his average rating is 7.65 in the league, and in the EFL Cup in 3 games, it's an 8.3. He really has been kind of top draw for us. And yeah, in this game, Bertrand Traoré's late goal rescued a point for us. It's a game that we definitely deserve to get something from, so there was quite a bit of relief, I guess you could say, when Traoré scored that goal there. Anyway, the next game we had, 3-0 win against Barnsley. Good performance. Bertrand Traoré again getting on the score sheet. Been a very good player for us. You can see he's got 5 goals in 8 games. In the EFL Cup, he's played well in the 1 game he made an appearance in. He's quite an interesting player just because he's so athletic and he's a fairly good kind of striker as a whole. But he doesn't really have too many standout kind of attributes besides his pace. But he's performing well for us at the moment, which is all I guess you can really ask for. Has got a bit of potential as well in the future to really develop. So a player who is useful to have at this moment in time with, us struggling a little bit for goals until recently, really. I'm pleased to say that over the last month or so, we have started to bang in the goals, because that is something that, for a short while, we were struggling to beat teams by more than just the 1 or 2 goals, and we've kind of set that right, I guess, since the Fulham game. Kelechi Iheanacho as well getting a goal in this game. He ended up getting 11 goals so far this season in 16 games. 4 appearances off the bench as well in those. Have been rotating the team fairly heavily, and you'll probably notice as we see kind of the team lineup here, there's been quite a lot of variety, I guess, in the team that we play. Some of that's been forced through injuries. Some of that's just been the case of we've got so many talented players and, we are playing weaker opposition. I can afford just, balance out the play time for everyone. Anyway, the next game, really impressive performance against Carlisle. League 2 opposition. Expected us to do well and win this game. Could have been a lot more than 2-0, to be honest, but we'll take the win nevertheless. And of course, that is the game that has seen us reach the quarter-final that we play today. The next game we had against Birmingham, it was a last-minute goal. I believe we had 8 clear-cut chances in this game. It was one of those games where, honestly, yeah, you can see... oh, wait, no, this isn't... Which game was it where we had 8 clear-cut chances and only scored 1? Was that Charlton? Might have been Charlton. I'm going to check now. Yeah, okay, it was Charlton where we had 8 clear-cut chances. We'll get into that game in a second. Against Birmingham, it was a late goal. It was a bit of a smash and grab. For a large spell in this game, Birmingham were the better team. In the 73rd minute, I took off Will Hughes and Michy, and in his replacement, I brought on Kelechi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and it was those 2 players who really made a difference for us. In the last 20 minutes, we really turned up the heat, and it was great to get kind of the late last-minute goal. These are the kind of games which... They test your team. The games where you are against the wall, I guess, for a large spell of it, but you manage to get the 3 points in the end. And, this was one of those games. A good little bit of build-up play. And I believe it was Kelechi latching onto a cross here that ended up finding its way into the back of the net. It wasn't a particularly pretty goal. It was his 10th of the season, though, and it was a very vital one in terms of ensuring we did get all 3 points in that game. The next match, the game I mentioned against Charlton, who were bottom of the league, I believe they probably still are. We had 8 clear-cut chances. We dominated the game. Worth noting that Masonda picked up an injury. He's broken his ankle. Unfortunately, he's been a really good player for us so far this year, the Belgian. He's out for between 5 and 7 weeks now. He's been so good for us, though. It's a real shame that he has got this injury. I'm hoping it's not going to be a massive setback for him. Going to be out for about 2 to 3 months, but his recovery's been fairly good so far. He's had a great season, and he is becoming a little bit of a fan favourite. So to see him hobbling off the pitch was a little bit, I guess, a kick in the teeth. Elsewhere in this game, you can see man of the match went to Martin Odegaard, a player who, fantastic youngster. His lack of consistency is something I have got to be kind of wary of, but when he turns up, he really does turn up big for us. You can see 6 goals and 2 player of the matches so far in 12 league games. Surprised perhaps about his lack of assists, but they have kind of tended to come from the wider areas. I do believe he has had a few, however, in cup games. Anyway, the next game we had 3-0 win, really good performance. Martin Odegaard grabbing 2 an own goal as well, ensured a very comfortable win over mid-table Cardiff. You can see the team that we played here, a little bit of rotation in it. Players like Britta Sombolonga starting out wide, Jordan Ibe taken off late on for Ryan Sessegnon. And I use this game as a little bit of an opportunity just to play players like Sessegnon who deserve a little bit of a run out. 17 years old, looks like a fantastic talent for the future, and giving him a little bit of first team football in these kind of games is always going to benefit his development. Anyway, the last game we played in this run of fixtures, a good little win. It was a late goal that actually decided it. It was a game that we deserved to win, but you do have those games in football, as in Football Manager, where you feel like you deserve to win. You create a lot of chances, but you just can't quite break the deadlock. Rob Holding got Man of the Match award here. You can see he actually got the opening goal of the game as well in the 7th minute. Engvall pegged us back for Bristol City, but an Odegaard late goal was the difference maker. And those results see us looking very, very pretty at the top of the Championship table. You can see 44 points from 18 games. In terms of the record for most points in a season, it's 106 by Reading. That was 12 years ago now. I kind of want to try and beat that record. We're on course to do it. We've been fantastic so far this year. I feel like a minimum goal at this point really has to be to try and get 100 points, which would be a great season. Obviously, this season, it's not really so much the challenge of getting promoted. I always thought that had to be, a given. If we failed to get promotion, it would be one of the worst fails I've ever done in Football Manager. But obviously the way in which we're doing it in terms of developing players is, I think, fairly admirable. And really, that this season isn't going to be the season that I judge my performance at Chelsea on. Because in reality, we should be getting promoted easily. It's going to be very much about, the next few years after this. What kind of board expectations will the board have when we do get promoted back into the Premier League? Are they going to be looking for us to immediately be kind of back amongst the pigeons, kind of in the top 6? Or is it going to be a case of they understand the fact that this is a very different squad to the squad that went down and they're happy with mid-table? It's going to be interesting to see how all of that pans out going forward. As I said, today we shift our attention to the EFL Cup. We're taking on Burnley. In terms of the team for today's game, I'm going to play a fairly full-strength side because, as I mentioned, the winner of the EFL Cup gets European football. We have a very relatively kind draw here against Burnley, and we're only 3 games away, well, 4 games if you include the 2 legs of the semi-final, away from a kind of a stab at some silverware. And I feel like at this point we kind of have to take it seriously. So looking at our team as a whole, in goal we go with Rajkovic, the Serbian goalkeeper. Been very good for us. Obviously, I criticised, I think, a few episodes ago, the fact he wasn't getting many clean sheets, but defensively we have shored things up. At centre-back, we go with Rob Holding, and alongside him, Kurt Zouma, who I'm afraid to say is still unhappy, still kicking up a fuss, but he's just too good to let go. He's our captain, he's our key player, and he's a very good player, is Kurt Zouma, at 23 years old. Right back for today's game, we go with Thomas Callas. He's not played many games as of late. Of course, he had a red card against Brighton, and since then he's kind of been out of the reckoning a little bit, if I'm honest. But I'm going to give him a chance here today. Iorfa struggling a little bit for fitness, but will be on the bench. Left back we go with Nathan Ake, a player who has definitely improved this year. Just getting regular first team football has been great for him. A 7.45 average rating for him in the league. Really, really impressive. In the centre of midfield we are going to go with Will Hughes as a centre mid on defend. It's not necessarily a role you'd associate with him, but it's a role he's very much capable of playing. And due to Christiansen really struggling with not the greatest of form, really, it kind of just makes sense for Will Hughes to come in there. Anyway, the next player we have is Onoma, of course, joined us, or Onoma, sorry. He joins us from Spurs at the start of the year. Big challenge, really, for him coming into the side. A little bit of expectation on his shoulders. £8 million paid. So far, he's done fairly well for us. He's not had perhaps as many opportunities as I anticipated, but he's going to get the nod today at deep line playmaker. Out wide on the left-hand side, we go with Jordan Ibe, the young Englishman. he's kind of looking like an okay playmaker, I feel like, at this point. His passing and vision, they're not standout, but this year he's certainly done the job for us when we've needed him to, and with Musonda out injured, it's kind of on his shoulders, I guess, to fill that void in the side, because we don't really have a ready-made backup in terms of a left-sided advanced playmaker. Anyway, down the centre, we're going to go with Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian. Been playing very, very well as of late. You can see in his recent form. 5 goals in his last 5 games, a 7.78 average rating for him of late. Out wide, on the right-hand side, we go with Cerny. Not the greatest of seasons, really, in terms of form. One of the few players who hasn't really performed that well, but he has improved in terms of in training. He looks significantly better than perhaps when he joined us. And I'm hoping that eventually that's going to show on the pitch, because I do have faith in him to be a very good player for us. Up for top for today's game, we're going to go with Kelechi, the Nigerian. He had a little bit of a goal drought spell. He's not been banging in the goals quite as much as perhaps he looked like he might at one point. I believe at the start of the season he had 7 goals in 4 games, which was pretty silly. Since then he has slowed down just a little bit, but he's still contributing. He's still playing very well, and he is providing a big kind of handful, I guess, for the defence to deal with. On the bench we've got Iorfa Christiansen, a player who we have dropped from playing that centre mid defend role. It's definitely a position I see him playing more, but he's just not really been that great for us this year so far, the Dane. Other players on the bench, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Bertrand Traore, Kennedy and Britta Sombolonga. We've got goals in this team. I mean, you look at kind of the team as a whole. Zuma and Rob Holding are getting a lot of goals. I haven't got anything special set for our corner kind of routines. They are just 2 players who seem to perform really well in the box, reasonable in the air, pretty intelligent footballers, and that's benefited them. But you can see Odegaard with 8 goals, Kelechi with 11 goals, Bertrand Traore on the bench with 6 goals. And you'll notice that the assists are fairly well spread throughout the team, which I really like. It means that, we're not really over-reliant on one player to turn kind of creator, I guess, in a lot of ways. And hopefully we can have a few players turn creator today against Burnley and win this game relatively easily. So we are playing a full-strength team. We go into this game, I don't know, I feel like we're probably favourites, given the fact we are a fairly high-rep team. But no, we'll see how we get on here. As I said, it's going to be interesting, really, in this match, just to see how we fare against a very low-end Premier League side, because our team is probably a Premier League quality team right now. In fact, I'd be very confident in saying it is. But it's very young still, and so to actually have real Premier League opposition to kind of, I guess, gauge ourselves against is going to be beneficial, and hopefully we can just perform well in this match as kind of, I guess, the challenge is set out ahead of us. Right now, 15 minutes gone, we're dominating possession with 61%. Burnley, 2 shots, none on target. We're having a few more shots, but no team really creating any kind of fantastic opportunities so far in this game. Apparently we are only threatening from long range, but the same can be said about Burnley. We need to turn this possession into chances, really. 25 minutes gone, disappointing not to do a lot more with it. But we have just had a half chance. It wasn't shown, so it wasn't a great half chance, but maybe food for thought there. In terms of our team as a whole, we've obviously got options on off the bench. I've been making changes fairly early on into games at Chelsea, to be honest, earlier than perhaps I'd normally do. I've not been shying away from making half-time changes in games where, simply put, we just don't look that great. And, well, maybe that is something we will have to look at doing today. 30 minutes gone. No chances either way as of yet. Look at the average ratings. Zuma's having a good game. I guess that's something. Oh, we've got the bug. We've got the bug where it's on commentary only. Why does that happen? I should explain, shouldn't I? Because I know some people aren't going to know that issue. Basically, if I watch highlights of a game and then quit halfway through the highlights, it changes the commentary to commentary only. So that was a set-piece goal for Burnley. That does explain why there weren't many chances kind of being shown. I have to apologise for that. Unfortunately, it's a live commentary. I can't go back in time. We now get a highlight of it, at least. So you get to see it in 3D. But unfortunately for us, it's Burnley striking first in this game. A set piece. You can see here behind the goal. Is it Gudmundsson who strikes this? I guess it is. It's a nice free kick, but it does go straight through the wall. Rajkovic perhaps should get a hand to it. It's a good little finish by Burnley. Not really good enough as far as we're concerned. We get to watch it twice. How exciting. Let's skip it. I don't want to watch Burnley score against me twice game. As much as you might think I want to see it twice, I don't. Sorry to say that. Anyway, 40 minutes gone here. If we can get a goal now before half time, fantastic. If not, I might have to get a little bit shouty in the dressing room, because really, this hasn't been good enough so far. Boys, show a bit of desire. Show us what you are made of. I don't think we missed too many chances in the first half, judged on the fact there was only one half chance and then the goal which came from a free kick. So let's hope for a more entertaining second half and that we actually get to see the entertainment as well. We have a chance here. Odegaard corner, whipped in, holding, back post to Zuma. That is a link-up that's happened quite a few times on corners. Unfortunately, Kurt Zuma heads it straight into the hands of Tom Heaton, who, he clutches the ball gratefully at his chest. 53 minutes gone. I'm going to make a change. Sarni not having a very good game. I'm going to bring in Bertrand Traore to play as an inside forward on the right-hand side, hoping his pace can perhaps cause Burnley some issues. He's got some goals for us as well this year. 6 goals, I believe, in 10 games. So Bertrand Traore, very capable of coming on and making an impact in games. And as you can see, in the second half, we are the team emerging on top, still bossing possession. But, well, unfortunately for us, nothing being shown on the score sheet in terms of for that domination of possession. Unfortunately, possession, it doesn't win you football matches. Kelechi's not having a very good game either. I'm going to take him off and bring in Britta Sombolonga, I think. I'll hold on to the last sub for now, although in the midfield we are struggling a little bit. I'm going to bring in Christiansen for Will Hughes. It's a bit of a risk, I guess, with 15 minutes left to make a double change like that, but I kind of feel like we have to. And in terms of the tactics, I feel like at this point, probably got to encourage Traore and Ibe just to be more aggressive in their play. At the moment, it's not really been good enough. We need to commit more men in the attack. Unfortunately, we start off with a fairly attacking system, so to become more attacking is a bit of a challenge. But we will have a chance here. Holding squeezes it in from the corner. It's a set piece. It's his 4th goal of the season. I said we've scored a fair few from corners, and I don't really know why we are. We've added another one to the collection. It's Martin Odegaard whipping the ball into the back post, and Holding just nods it in off the post. The man on the post not doing his job, drifted, got caught ball watching, and well, it's another corner for us. It's another goal that we've got from one. And now, well, with 5 minutes left, can we go on and push on that little bit more? This game, I believe, would go straight to extra time. In the EFL Cup, there are no replays, unlike the FA Cup, but we don't want it to go to extra time if we can avoid it. Britta Sombolonga, he's going to be through. Can he finish it? It hits the woodwork, but this time it doesn't go in off it. We might still have a chance. We won't. The chance went a begging there. That was a great opportunity for us to score. Britta Sombolonga, unfortunate with the finish. And you can tell the boys they've been unlucky so far. I want to encourage them. I don't really want to lay into them too hard here. Perhaps going to regret the fact we made all our subs too soon. But at the same time, we scored off the back of all those changes. So I guess it was worth it to get to this stage in the competition. Just got to be wary of injuries, perhaps. We don't want to have any players going off. We don't want to needlessly go down a man if we can avoid it. Burnley, they've proven pretty stiff opposition. We have been the better team. We've created way more chances. They've had the 2 shots on target, no clear-cut chances, no half chances, just 1 free kick. Odegaard, back post. Kurt Zuma's there. Is he offside? He's not offside. The Frenchman nods it in. It's his 5th goal of the season. And not for the first time this year. It's our centre-backs bailing us out. The ball whipped in by Martin Odegaard. Kurt Zuma, just completely unmarked, waltzes into the area. The ball on a plate for him. And, well, he eats the contents of that plate and puts it in the back of the net. A lovely goal there. And, well, maybe we can get another to make it comfortable. Jordan Ibe cutting inside. Pulls the trigger, hits the woodwork. Tom Heaton holds on to it. 20 minutes left, I should say, of this game. And, well, it looks like at half-time in extra time, we're going to have a goal to the good. Looking at the fitness levels of players, they're struggling a little bit, but our 2 centre-backs have been superb. Martin Odegaard as well, been a great set-piece taker for us. He's got the 2 assists. And I kind of want one more goal just to make it comfortable. Martin Odegaard waltzing forward. Shot blocked, Bertrand Traore, Anoma. In fact, it was a Sombolonga offside. He wasn't interfering with play, I didn't think, but the linesman's flag is raised. I can't argue with it. 10 minutes left of this match. We're 2-1 up. We're looking fairly good in this game. We've been the better team by such a massive margin. It's a shame we couldn't really make it count in the 90 minutes. But, well, with 2 minutes left now, it looks like it's going to be game over unless Burnley are going to score in the last 40 seconds of the game. Holding wins the header. He wins it again. What a defensive rock he's been. Although Hines is going to find himself in. Kurt Zuma deals with it, though. And, well, now Martin Odegaard can just bring it forward. 20 seconds left. I can't see us conceding now. Can we get another? Britta Sombolonga's shot blocked. Christiansen to Anoma. Odegaard. I mean, we've dominated the ball this game. It's been such a nice performance. It's just a shame the finishing wasn't quite up to scratch. Because we've had 8 half chances in this game. It would have been very easy for us to score more than 2 goals. But, crucially, I guess, we do get the win. A good little win, guys. We go into the semi-final. I don't know who else is going to be there. I guess we can take a look. I believe Brentford were the only other Championship team in the competition. They've gone out, so the teams remaining, Arsenal, Manchester City or Manchester United. I mean, I didn't want an easy draw anyway, but we're not going to get one if we do want to progress further in this competition. The semi-final draw is going to be made on a Friday, of course. That's going to be over 2 legs. So that could be an interesting one. Apparently, it proved no shock. So I guess we were favourites to win that game against Burnley, given how poor their form's been and given how good we've been. Martin Odegaard scoops the Player of the Month award. Very good for him. He also gets the Young Player of the Month award. De Silva, one of our players, out on loan, also picking up runner-up in this. And actually, Solanke, another player on loan from us, picking it up as well. So all 3 of our players in the Championship Young Player of the Month. We picked up Manager of the Month as well, which is always good. I think we've won it most months this season. As you can see, we've won it 3 out of 4. Gary Monk for Bournemouth in September, ruining my perfect streak, unfortunately. So yeah, in terms of when we'll be back for the next episode, I guess it'll be the semi-final. We'll get to the draw. We'll see who we've got. It's going to be over 2 legs, as the EFL kind of Cup final semi-final traditionally is. Out of Arsenal, Manchester City and Manchester United, there isn't really a preference I have there, if I'm honest. They're all going to be pretty tough games. I feel like usually with a cup draw, there's like a team that you kind of say, oh, I'd take that team, or I'd want that one. Not in this draw. Not in this draw. So the draw is today. Let's take a look at it. Automatic draw. Who are we going to get given? There isn't, as I said, not really a team my preference. We're going to get Manchester United. I mean, I wanted to do it easily anyway, so that's fine. So Manchester United going to be the team we take on. That's going to be on Tuesday the 9th. As I said, I believe it's over 2 legs. It is indeed. I guess that's when we'll be back for the next game. There's a fair few matches in between. I know I said I was going to do the Middlesbrough game, but I feel like the EFL Cup quarter-final was perhaps more kind of important, I guess, in terms of how it's going to impact our season. I feel like those games against Manchester United should make for quite an interesting episode next time out. As always, guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, please do smash the like button. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And other than that, thank you so much for watching as always, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one.